That's welcome to another episode of the Red River Rundown. Today it's just me and Boomtown. Cam, again, he's traveling all over the world. We have no idea when he's coming back, but it should be pretty soon. Cam, if you're listening, send us some money this way.
I
Bruh,
thought he was in Aruba or something.
I'm
Hey,
telling
he's
you.
just all over the place.
I'm telling you. I thought he was in like Mercury or something like that, but who knows? Let me move that up. There we go. So, how you been? How you doing this week, bro?
No, not too bad. Not too bad. I have an opportunity to see a different aspect of the company tomorrow. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Just a bit of steady week, man. Steady week. Cooked some dinner tonight. Had some sweet chili sauced poke bowls with crispy rice, chicken. No, I did my Thug Thizzle. The wifey approved, so I'm pretty happy about that. I had no idea what I was doing. Shout out to whatever the lady is that came up with the recipe. All I had to do was execute. Okay. So not too bad. Not too bad.
Crazy that some people get on the internet and will type something up, something like, "Get that dude off the field. What is he doing?" And it's so easy for you to do that throw, make that shot, and then you get in the kitchen and can't even cook macaroni and cheese. That's crazy work. But again, that's what some people do. That's what some people do, and it is what it is, and it leads us into our opening topic. You know what I'm saying, Isaiah? What's one of the most, or some of the most, delusional sports takes you've ever had?
I think you'll get a kick out of this and maybe some other listeners that we know that are in a certain fantasy football league with us. A couple years ago, fourth round fantasy football draft, Isaiah Clayton drafted Chase Edmonds. And everybody looked at me like I was an absolute buffoon. And I kept saying, guys, it's the fourth round. It's gonna work out. And it never worked out. And he got cut halfway through the season because Raheem Mostert started going off. And by far, that probably cost me an opportunity to go further because I think your boy went like sub 500 that year. Because in the fourth round, I wasn't being smart, and I thought that that was going to work out. Everybody else on that offense played great. Chase Edmonds didn't. So I got to eat that one. And every year, whenever we are part of that draft, somebody kind of always brings it up, and I understand. I get it. You know, I messed up, but that's the first one that comes to mind. What's and Chase Edmonds isn't even in the league anymore.
Yeah, I'd
Marlon,
forgot
what's some
about
of
him,
yours?
bro. Low key, the first one that comes to mind for me, it's not like a individual player. This is a team. 2011, there was a firestorm going around the league, and he didn't impress me. I wasn't impressed. I felt like, bro, I've seen and heard tall tale of all of these players until they play the Steelers defense, and I'm not worried about it, bro. Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, James Harrison. I'm not worried about it, bro. And then this young man throws for 316 yards in a playoff victory against the vaunted Steelers defense. I'm talking about the 2011-2012 season when Tim Tebow took down the Pittsburgh Steelers. I talked so reckless the entire year because I was not a fan of Tim Tebow. And I saw that they were lining up and it was going to match up in Tebow versus my Steelers. It was going to happen in the playoffs, and I was super excited until he let go of that ball and I seen DT wide open with nobody in front of him. I immediately knew karma was a real thing, and it broke me. I've been broke since then.
On a 5 yard slant, no safety over the middle.
Where
An
he stiff armed
absolute
Ike Taylor, and
yeah.
it was like I
He
said,
did the rest. He did the rest.
whenever they show somebody's face in a big moment, like for instance, a quarterback throws a game losing interception, defense gives up a bonehead play, something happens and they usually cut to a player without his helmet on, usually the quarterback. And the quarterback has this, no, or like, what happened? Look, that's
That's all that was.
brother, brother,
He he threw a 5-yard slant
brother. God.
over the middle, baseball wind up style, old school Byron Leftwich style. Cock cock that thing below his knee, put it
Yeah.
on a rope though.
It still haunts me, bro. It still haunts me. It still haunts me to this day. Because it makes me second guess every take I ever give. It makes me second guess every take I ever give because I'm like, well, shoot. I remember I was going crazy on Tim Tebow, and then now I got to eat that forever. It's humbling.
I mean, I thought that Calvin Cater was gonna beat Aljamain Sterling. You were there for that.
I did.
I had a feeling, and I tripled down on it, and I still owe some form of push up from it. That's okay though. Every now and again, I'll be wrong,
I believed in
but
the Kenny Pickett smoke for a little bit in
yeah,
them preseasons. I believed in it. I'm not
ooh,
gonna lie. I was
yeah.
on it. I was not. Well, I'm trying to think of some more. I wasn't impressed with. I mean, my most. Here we go. I used to say that Peyton Manning wasn't good. I used to be the. Remember, I used to be the kid that was like, he doesn't win. He doesn't win. That's all that I'm worried about now that I've matured and I understand how hard it is to actually win and how much it's more about your team. And you can be the best individually all you want to, but if your team ain't up to par, it doesn't matter because you're playing against a team full of you can't really do much. So once I understood that, I kind of got to the point where it's just like, I get it, bro. Like maybe Peyton isn't overrated. Maybe just because I still feel like Tom Brady is better than him, maybe I should stop discrediting him. So I did do a lot of Peyton hate early on in their career, but hey man, I saw Tom Brady coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, honestly, Drew Brees takes are always going to be like, I think the sheriff was always that guy, but Tom figured out how to win better. And then later in their careers, after the neck injury, Peyton had a brief resurgence of like, hey, man, the sheriff's back in town. And then he couldn't throw a ball 25 yards in the air.
Yeah.
But
Have
Tom did something smart for his longevity. And I mean, honestly, at the time that they were kind of coming up, Tom Brady really didn't pop off till about '07 when he got Randy. We got Randy Moss and that offense looked completely different. We Tom was just the guy that got there and won. I mean, his numbers were modest, top tier quarterback numbers for the mid to late 2000s, but the sheriff was always in town. Okay. I will
uh,
say
the
one of
sheriff
the
ain't
takes
nothing. Pittsburgh got you in the playoffs, big dog. Thank you, Mike Vanderjack.
I guess one of the takes that I never really said it out loud, but I always wanted it to go well was I just wanted Justin Fields to be good, man. I ain't gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
same.
I I was pulling for him. There's and I still there's still a small part of me, even though he's in
No,
Kansas
no,
City
no, no,
and
no.
he
You
won't.
seen that clip, didn't you? You seen that clip.
Which one?
Have you not seen that clip of him and KC training camp throw that horrible interception?
No,
Oh,
no.
buddy, I'm
I
gonna
saw the
send that to you.
Deshaun Watson one.
No, I'm gonna send it to you. And once I
Uh,
send it to you, once you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, but no, go off. Cause I'm
no.
even though you're gonna see it and jump off the boat just like I did,
Mm,
leading up to that video, I was the same way. Like I was the guy that was like, bro, when he gets to Kansas City and Andy Reid gets his hands on him, like Andy will be able to slow the game down for him, maybe make him make some better decisions, and then he'll be able to make and utilize his strength, which is running. And then whenever you
mhm.
stack on top of it a rocket arm, bro, like this, the star, the sky is the ceiling for this kid. And
I
then I watched
still
it.
he said, and then I watched the video. I think a part of me still wish that he was with y'all. A part of me was like, he did not look bad, man. They were 4-2 whenever, they gave Russ the keys, so to speak. They weren't the prettiest looking games, but I mean, he's 4-2 as a starter, man. Like I
And
think it could helped him.
remember, he went off to in one of those losses. The
Yeah.
one loss against the Cowboys, not so much, but that one loss to the Colts, he went crazy. He was, you know what I'm saying, because they were getting mollywopped, and then Justin went crazy and had like 4 touchdowns to bring him back into it. Now he did
Mhm.
fumble a snap at the end of the game, but that's one of those things that it's like you have to be patient. That's one of the
Hell,
first times
even
that Justin had ever even been in a moment like that. You have to
yeah.
be patient with your young quarterbacks because they're gonna
Hell,
make those kind of mistakes, bro. They are.
even last year, opening week against y'all, there was times where I was like, "Bro, he's kinda going off right now."
I was mad as hell. I was
If
over
it
here
weren't
just
for that absolute terrible ball that he threw to Garrett Wilson and Jalen Ramsey came up and
he
basically
should have
ended the
ran.
game. I thought he was. Like, he's one of those guys, though. Like, I don't think I was too young to really understand the Greg Oden hype. Like, I knew he was dominant in college. I wasn't watching a whole lot of NBA in high school like I am now, but man, I like as far as takes, I don't know, bro. It's a little different because I think of other people and what I thought of those guys at that time, and just overall, I wanted Bryce Mitchell to be better. I mean, but I mean, he started saying crazy shit, and then he moved down divisions.
I still
Like,
like him, bro. I still like him. I think he's a fun fighter. I just think he's not. It's one of those you got to humble yourself of and just be like, no, you're still my favorite fighter, but now I have. It's like me with us with Max, bro. At one point,
mhm,
Max was smashing. Now it's like
yeah,
there's a high quality chance that Max could get whooped tonight, and I just have to deal with it. And that kind of hurts. That hurts, bro. That hurts. But bro, let's jump into some of these NFL topics. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pop it up here. Ooh, wow, that's crazy. Anyways, first one. First one. Which NFL coach is on the hottest seat? Shane Steichen, Zach Taylor, Jim Harbaugh, or Kevin O'Connell? Or any other coach in the league that you think is on the hottest seat? Isaiah, go ahead.
it's got to be Zach Taylor. I mean, Cameron has talked about this before. We all thought that they were going to give him his walking papers in the offseason. I'm surprised they didn't. I think that franchise has been extremely gracious and patient with a dude that's been there since 2019, and in his first 2 years, he won 6 games. And then ever since, you've been battling health issues with your quarterback year in and year out. Your defense, the year that you went to the Super Bowl, your defense was good. I think they were like a top 10 defense that year. And then you let everybody walk. You did not want to pay Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates is still a all pro level safety. He's in Atlanta right now. So he's kind of getting buried by the fact that that franchise is successful. But you let him go. He's one of the best safeties in the league still. He was whenever you let him leave. They got to get the defense better, and I feel like overall that organization, that's not their focus, and I think he's part of that problem. He's number one. Shane Steichen, I think he got dealt a bad hand. Anthony Richardson, he's one of those people that my take was, hey man, he got an arm, he might be a little good. But now that Indiana Jones is there and he's back healthy, I don't know. Indianapolis has been in a weird spot since Andrew Luck retired. I think we all know that. Like, their defense is always pretty good. Their offense, week in and week out, looks questionable. I mean, if they don't win 10, he's out. I would say that. They got to win about 10 or 11. He's out. He's my 2. Jim Harbaugh, this is what, his 3rd year with the organization, I want to say.
Yeah, this will be his third year. Yes.
Going into his 3rd year. So his 3rd year, he took him to the playoffs twice. Um, nah, I think he's okay. And then Kevin O'Connell, it, that seat is scorching right now because, brother, you
Well, you
haven't been
think
to the play.
KOC has the hottest?
No, I still think Zach Taylor does, but his seat, I'll say this: KOC's is warming up, and the reason I say that is because Brother, you haven't been to the playoffs since you lost Kirko. Well, no, you went with Sam, which that season was just magical. I will say that. But something's gotta give, man. You got too much talent on the offensive side of the ball. You as a head coach, what you've been able to do, improve with the guys that play quarterback for you, where you lack in execution in the playoffs. Is it the O-line? Well, get that better. Is it the run game? Get that better because Aaron Jones is getting older. Jordan Mason has had health issues. You gotta figure out how to be consistent. And it's a damn shame that they let Dalvin Cook walk a couple years back. And that man
Ooh.
was out of the that man was out of the league in 2 years after he left there. It's a damn shame.
Yeah,
And
bro,
then
his
the year
little brother
prior
old
before he left, yeah, the year prior, this man ran for like 1,200 yards. What the hell? I'm confused. That's still one of the biggest
because running backs is
confusing
a dime a
things.
dozen, bro. That's why you
Well,
can
I think they're
take a
starting to
running back.
add value back to them
They
now.
are,
I
but
will
I
say
think
that.
it's you're right, but I think the pool is so big now. I think there's so much more talent coming out at once that it just kind of floods the market. I don't think the talent wasn't there. I just think they just flood the market because there's so many versatile backs now that can do everything.
Mhm.
So instead of
Yeah.
having that lead dog and then a third down back. Now you have a guy that can do everything, and then you have a guy behind him who can do everything too, who's sitting behind him, and it's just like, damn, dog, this is crazy. And
Yep.
honestly, I mean, it's good for the position too because now we get to see these guys stick around for longer. Honestly, because running backs for a while, bro, like you would love a guy for like 4 years, and then he's out of here because he didn't
Yep.
have like
That was it.
700 touches a year and their bodies just
I
couldn't handle
mean,
it. But I mean, let me get to the my how to see real quick, bro. I
okay.
agree. No way that I could say that Zach Taylor's seat isn't the hottest. Now I will differ. I think KOC's could be. Now again, this is speculation. I think KOC's
Mhm.
could be the coolest just because did he want 9 or was that an organization decision? Because if that's an organization decision, there's no way they can move off of KOC because that's a pill they got to swallow, right?
Mhm.
I think that I'll do this just to be different because it's his third year. I think this is your seat is hot now, Jim, because all we've heard is you're a winner, you're a winner, and what we're seeing is you're able to get us to the playoffs, but you ain't doing nothing that the dude before you didn't do. So,
Mhm.
at what time do we address this? Because again, it's not like we're not winning the division. And again, we have one of the toughest divisions to play in, but we're not winning. We're not getting close, and we're not even winning playoff games. We're just really people may not want to agree with this, but the Chargers are the Pittsburgh Steelers with the better quarterback, which is worse. Because you have your franchise guy. You have your
Mhm.
franchise guy, and you're getting to the playoffs every year. And it's even worse because y'all have had hope in a playoff game, and then you didn't. So, yeah, I think I would go there. And then Steichen, it's real hard for me to give any blame to Steichen, but I mean, at some point, we need it. You know what I mean? Like, I know Danny Dimes looked better, but then he stopped. I know, Anthony Richardson to me honestly looked good. You know what I'm saying? Pause, but he looked good. I don't think Anthony Richardson is not the quarterback or wasn't there because he wasn't good. I think just he was lazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's why I think he ain't there. But I mean, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, I'm right there with you with the takes that you're making. I just Zach Taylor's man, I don't get it. I don't get why he got to stay this year. But also, they do have a lot of faith. Cincinnati as an organization, they got a lot of faith in their head coach in good and bad times. Marvin Lewis was there for
that's true. I
a
didn't even think
decade,
about that. Marvin
a
Lewis
full
was there
decade.
for yeah, bro. Marvin Lewis was there so long that they started naming like kids after him, and they were already working. Like he was there for 20 years. It felt like, and I mean, it's almost. I feel like Marvin Lewis was so mid that Steelers fans made fun of him for so long that what they've been over the last few years is payback for it. That's sports karma. But
Yeah.
That's just me. But
They had to fire him after they made the playoffs in his tenure 10 times, and he didn't win a playoff game.
is this the Steelers version of that? Like with Aaron Rodgers and DK, is this like Andy Dalton and AJ Green? Like nice, it's a nice team, but like you're not beating the better team. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do. We just don't have Vontez perfect. But that's
Yeah, I mean, but you got I would say that's comparable. I think definitely losing Mike Tomlin and getting McCarthy, there might be a slight higher energy in it because
brother.
Aaron's got his guy again. Him and McCarthy worked well together. So
If
I
you
mean,
on the spot before we go to the next NFL topic, if you had to give like a quick analogy of what you think the Steelers are this year, what do you like? What would you say? For instance, I'll give you mine. Mine would be like the Steelers are Barry Bonds. They are swinging with a lot, right? With Mike McCarthy at the
mhm.
helm, they're going to be swinging hard. They can miss, and if they miss, they're going down. They're going down swinging like a lot of the McCarthy teams that we've seen, which it's going to be different than what the Steelers fans are used to because we're used to Mike Tomlin being super conservative. But there's a world where they swing as hard as what they're doing right now, and they just miss and then they strike out. I think there's a world. So I was curious if you had like what do you think the outlook is? You think it's like the same thing with just different people? Do you see it as I don't know, maybe the Steelers are going to be better because their offense is going to be better and with the league being more offensive minded, it should bode well? Or do you think it's the Steelers are rolling some shit out until they find their franchise quarterback?
Overall, I think the Steelers have to prove that age ain't nothing but a number because they don't have a lot of youth per se on the defensive side of the ball. So I think it's like, I mean, to me, it's kind of comparable to like pickup basketball with some old heads. You're like, the old heads might get you. They might run the court for about an hour, maybe 6 or 7 games, but eventually they're gonna get tired. Young guns are gonna they're gonna catch them slipping, and then the old heads gotta go home and take a shower because they're gonna be sore as shit because they've been on the court all day. That's kind of how I
Crazy
see
work.
the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like the the knowledge that those guys on both sides of the ball have will make them be successful to get to the playoffs. But once they get to the playoffs, I'm not going to say necessarily that they'll run out of gas, but I think that talent and that importance of those games being that next level, I think this is where they might slip and fall and get sent home early.
So
That's the best way I could
yeah,
compare it.
I get that. I get that. All right. Well, keeping it pushing and going to the next NFL topic, brother. Which NFL quarterbacks do you think are in danger of being on a new team next year? Because I think there's quite a few
Danger or we're just expecting it?
either or, right? Like say you look at a guy and say if he doesn't have the a good year this year, he won't be back on this team. Or you look at another guy and you say, "Man, this dude is good, but the organization is so bad that this dude is going to ask for a trade because it's not going to go well for him this year." Because, for
Mm,
instance, for me, I think there's two quarterbacks in the AFC North that are both fit in this mold. I think that if
mhm.
the Bengals come out and it's not fixed, Joe
Joey
Burrow
B
could
and Lamar.
boom and Lamar. I
Mhm,
truthfully think that if the Bills come out and they lay an egg, I think he asks out. I think if the Chargers continue, they're just mid. I think Herb could say, I need to get out of this division. I think Herb could
mhm.
be out. I think CJ Stroud is another dude who Houston could look at him and say, you're a liability, dog. So now
Bro,
you're on a
did
new.
you his fit was a liability the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
My
yeah, I did. I
god,
did.
that
I
fit
did.
was crazy.
I did. Somebody said
No, I
he looked like the kid on the bus to be where my hug.
yeah, look at that. I mean, to be honest with you, there's really 2 guys that I don't think a lot of people are expecting, but I could see it happening. Yeah, Baker, just off the top of my head, they couldn't get the deal done. I think he's gonna try to play his ass off this year to be undeniable, to be like, I earned this money, I got to get my paper. But if he doesn't and they still don't come to terms, I think he'll walk. That's no problem because essentially he signed there on a prove it deal and wanted a more long term agreement, and they've been signing him to 2-year deals. Which to him, it's like, hey man, I'm trying to lay down roots here. I'm trying to show you guys that I'm committed, and you're giving me, you know, you're not giving me that consistency that I'm trying to give you guys. For sure, him. And I think my other one, I got all the lists of the teams pulled up right now. There's a part of me that is worried about Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
And now I don't know, I don't know nothing. Okay, I'm just a dude that likes to talk sports,
Likes to speculate in
but
conspiracy theories.
and conspiracize. I do think that with that fan base, right? Yeah, you got him a ring a couple years ago, but I mean, when's the last time Phillies had a quarterback stay there for 10 full years?
Donovan
McNa
McNabb
He didn't even do that, bro.
was it
That's
8?
what I'm saying. It was 9 seasons that he was there. He got drafted in '99. By '08, he was on the Vikings?
No, I think he
Or
went to
no, the
Washington first.
Redskins?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was on the Redskins by, like, '08, '09.
Was selling good chunky Campbell soup.
Chunk of Camels. I think Jalen Hurts, I don't wanna say he's gonna be in trouble, but with
There's a
that
world.
fan base, there's a world where that organization is gonna look at him and go, "Well, we're not getting any better."
And Makai Lemon and I believe Smitty have some hamstrings in training camp already. So those things tend to linger. If the wide
Mhm,
receiving core does not live up to par, bro, and they struggle, Philly, like their fans are some of the best fans, and they're also some of the boneheaded fans, and they will
mhm,
turn on you fast. We watched them get rid of
mhm.
their like what 2 years after the Super Bowl, like Peterson, get out of here. Like they fired everybody.
Yeah,
Get out. So
yeah.
they'll move on. I know Philly fans forget Carson Wentz, you guys loved him. Philly fans were fighting random homeless people to defend Carson Wentz. And then 2 years later, he was gone. People forget, bruh, Unc Shannon Sharp was walk it to on Wentz. Yeah. And now that brother is, he's a backup somewhere. He has to be a backup somewhere. But
Mhm.
Minnesota last year, I believe. So,
Yes.
but bro, you know what I'm saying? Philly will turn on you. They will turn on you. But I agree. Jalen was one really wasn't even thinking about originally. I was thinking more Joe, Burrow, and
Mhm,
Lamar. Also Josh, if you squeezed into it. There's a couple more
mhm.
that I think you could say, like I said, like CJ Stroud, etc. Some of those dudes may ask out. I seen that Will Levis said there's not 32 quarterbacks in the league that are better than him. And I was like, brother, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Will Levis is more like 58 that are better than you.
Yeah.
But
There's backup quarterbacks that are better than
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Like, let's be real. Now, homie has a cannon, but he just throws it to the wrong team way too much, way too much. I think that we're probably closer to see Joe Burrow on a different team than Lamar, just because I think Lamar is digging the vibe in Baltimore. And I truthfully think he likes Baltimore.
I agree with you. And really every other franchise, I feel like we expect the Colts to move on from Daniel Jones. Cleveland doesn't know what they're
Do we, wait,
doing.
wait,
Like these
do we though? Because it's not like Daniel Jones is very old. Like the Colts don't have to, unless they have a really good pick or they want to give up assets to reach up and grab a guy, that he makes it to where you don't necessarily have to reach. You can do, I mean,
Yeah.
what the Steelers are doing right now, like they could do that for a couple more years with Daniel
Yeah.
Jones and heck, maybe even get hot and go on a
Yeah.
Seahawks run, right? But
Mhm. 'Cause right now, I'm looking at other teams, like, the Cowboys got too much money wrapped up in Dak, Jackson Dart's too young, Geno's on a 2-year rental,
I
like
real quick, I was gonna mention Dak because I do
Mhm.
think that Dak is at risk of being on another team. Maybe not next year, but the year after, I think we're getting close to Dak being on a new team. Maybe he
Yeah.
asks out. Maybe Jerry. We were talking about some of these quarterbacks that may be on new teams, bro. Like, obviously, they got to land somewhere. Would
Mhm.
Jerry trade Dak to a team that wants it? I mean, yes. If the speculation is, if it will Jerry move Dak to get assets to draft a quarterback or to trade for another quarterback that he really wants?
I
Absolutely.
want Arch Manning.
Well, even
Okay.
even at that, like, I want CJ Stroud, I want Jalen Hurts,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of other like, I want Lamar, I want Joe Burrow, I want some of these guys, I want to ruin their careers too. But
Yeah.
that's just essentially that's what I feel like it is. But yeah, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible. Last one I'll bring up, has Bryce Young done enough?
Ooh, no, I don't. I think now, am I saying that I believe that Bryce is going to have a bad year or Bryce isn't? No, that's not what I'm saying. I am just saying that I think we give Bryce too much credit for last year.
Mhm.
1 year is something that we've seen quarterbacks do in the past. They come out and they have a good year. And then after that, it is just not what you thought it was going to be. So all I say is if he doesn't come out and repeat what he showed us this year, we may be looking at him being on another team next year. We may
Yeah.
see the same thing with him that we saw with the Justin Fields, where a team is just
Yeah.
like, or Carolina's like, you're
It's a
not what we need.
revolving door.
Yeah, you're not what
Yeah.
we need. And we want some assets so we can get a guy that we feel like is gives us what we need. And they'll move off of him in a team like Pittsburgh or Miami or a team that needs a quarterback or at least a bridge quarterback. Will see a name like that and say, with us,
Yeah.
he's good. Instead of them reaching, they'll just try to recycle other people's trash. It's crazy work
Mhm.
too.
That's the last one that I got.
All
I
right,
think
well, I got you with this one then. We had a couple of big contract signings. Wanted to know what you thought about them. Bijan
mhm.
signed a 3 year, 75 million extension. What did you think about Bijan? I
It
mean,
makes sense.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
every year he's produced at a high level, all-purpose yards every single year. I mean, he's undeniable. He deserves that contract with that extension. The problem is we don't know how good the rest of that team is.
Problem
So,
is he need to do something with that damn hair.
he got that Will Smith off of the live action Aladdin
Man,
cut.
man, the genie, bruh.
There was one he was running a choice route, like, on air, just kinda getting some reps in, and his hair kinda flipped up, and before he made his cut, and somebody said his
Oh yeah,
hair
it was
called
called
for
for
the
the
ball
ball. Yeah,
before
yeah.
he before he did.
That boy hair look like olive oil from Popeye. You got it, bro. What you do? You got a microphone stand on the top of your head.
It just
Yeah, come on, Bijan. You got to do something. And we also got Zay Flowers, 4 years, 140 M's. Once I seen that contract, I laughed hysterically. Maybe Baltimore and Cincy proved me wrong as just being this loud, obnoxious Steelers fan. And it's possible. But I seen that contract, and as a Steelers fan, I said, thank you. Thank you. Zay Flowers is going to be y'all's one. Cool. Now I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry at all because Lamar's not going to beat me.
if you look at the market, yes, it's a new year. Yes, salary cap's been going up. He is not valued as a true wide receiver 1 because Zay Flowers has bursts he has moments at best. I don't think that he's your day in and day out physical receiver that can establish position, run red zone choice routes, run option routes, beat people down the field consistently. Like, if you're looking at the top tier guys, you're looking at Puka. Well, not in this order. You're looking at Puka, Jettas, Jamar, Amon Ra, St. Brown. I mean, CD, George Pickens, AJ Brown, JSN. We don't ever mention Zay Flowers with that grouping of guys ever. Those are probably the top receivers in the league.
Yeah, he's a tier 2 receiver. Very like he's a
Yeah.
tier 2 wide receiver 1. is what I'll
Mhm.
give him. He's a guy that he can go off. I just don't have like I don't get that. And maybe maybe Zay Flowers is this amazing receiver as a, and we're just criminals of the moment, and it's Baltimore's fault for not giving him a good dance partner on the other side because they haven't, right? But well, like, why sign him to this if you're still not going to bring him a dance partner? You know what I mean? Like, at
Mhm.
some point, you got to do it. And if spending this money could have been spent somewhere else, that's probably what y'all should have done. But that's all I got for
Yeah.
Zay.
Yeah, I don't agree with the contract. I think that, he's got a great agent, I'll say that because anybody that can finesse 4 years, 140 M's, I might need him to negotiate my pay at my job, maybe I could get broke off with about 10, 15 more cents, you know what I'm talking about? That's all I got, man. That's
Give.
don't agree with it at all.
All right. Well, we will keep it pushing, and then we're going to the next one, which we are talking NBA contenders or pretenders if this ever wants to load onto the screen. But Isaiah, I figured we could talk some teams. We could talk about their ceiling, the floor, and one big concern. We don't have to go too far into it. That way we can touch more. But whoa, that's crazy work. Hey, yo. But
Mute your mic. Mute your mic.
man, I might need to. There we go. We finally get it up. Thank you, producer. Thank you, producer. Our producer's name, if anybody wanted to know, is Cale Bonson. He is producer of the show. He gets us the information that we need, just like Jamie on the Joe Rogan podcast. So I just wanted to say thank you, Cale Bonson, for assisting to get this right. We respect you,
Shout
and
out Kilbone.
yeah, shout out to Cale Bonson, local legend. But
Mhm.
let me get to and some teams. But like first, let's start with the local team, Oklahoma City Thunder. Isaiah, what do you think their ceiling and their floor is going into the next year?
I mean, the ceiling is another
Yeah,
championship. The floor is getting bounced in the first round. The expectations for them are still going to be high. I mean, they've been that way for the last 4 years with this team. Whenever they kind of took the world by storm, being the number one overall seed of the league about 4 years ago. So to me, ceiling, floor is exactly where it needs to be. They did lose a lot of integral pieces, so they're gonna have to work out some kinks. I think they'll do that at the beginning of the season. Maybe they're not a 1 seed, maybe they're a 2 seed this year, maybe a 3. I mean, but that makes it more interesting playoff matchups, so they're gonna have to fight through the Western Conference, and if they're able to get to the finals again and win it, that's exactly, you know, that's where it needs to be with it.
I agree. I'd say San Antonio's is about the same. It's very similar.
Mhm.
Like their ceiling to me is winning the NBA Finals. Their floor to me is well, let's say being healthy. Their floor is getting beat in the first round, maybe matching up, getting just a bad matchup and everything.
Yeah.
Not like maybe having a hangover from making the NBA Finals, but
Mhm.
Denver. What do you think Denver's ceiling and floor, and what do you think their concern is? Because I got their ceiling as second round of the playoffs, and I have their floor as a playing team. And I think the concern around them is that they don't have enough shot making or shot creation
Mhm.
outside of Jokic, and Jokic does not feel very comfortable making shots like that.
I'm right on the same page with you. I think they're exactly where you put 'em. Play-in team-esque. I mean, they've been kind of hovering around this, like, 3 to 6 range over the past couple years anyway, so I think that they'll be in a war whoever they face in the first round of the playoffs. Because I don't think that they're gonna be a 1 seed or a 2 seed. So 3-6, 4-5 matchup type of stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, tie shit. And then, if they're a playing team, I think they're still gonna be in a war. Like, they still got that scrappiness to them as a team.
Man, they got some scrappiness, but can't none of them shoot.
No, I know, but I don't think they lose in the first. I don't think they get swept in the first round. I think they take them to at least 6 no matter who they play, and they might win, and then, like you said, their ceiling is the second round, they get bounced in 6 or 7 games.
Bruh, Denver is built like a team in 2K when you take them into the rec, and it's a bunch of slashers and a big man.
Yeah,
Can't
I
nobody
mean, yeah,
shoot. Can't nobody shoot.
yeah,
What I I I think for me, the floor for the Lakers, I'd say Western Conference or not the floor, I meant the ceiling, my bad. My bad. Ceiling is Western Conference Finals. I think if everything goes right and Luka is the player that the Lakers want him to be, the Lakers ceiling could be Western Conference Finals. They could make a couple of moves which would change me and let me take it to the NBA Finals as their ceiling. I do believe their floor is also a play-in team. I think there is a world due to a couple of things. Obviously, it would take injuries or things like that, and hopefully the Lakers are able to stay healthy. But there is a world that the Lakers play in the playing game. So I'd say their floor would be the playing game because I mean that's what we've been seeing from the Lakers for a while is that some of those teams, even with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, those floors were playing teams. So I think it's like where you got theirs.
ceiling second round, floor is missing the playoffs.
And to save time, we're gonna save this and split it until our Sunday episode too. So if you want to listen to it or watch it there too, you can. We'll do the Eastern Conference on Sundays. On Sunday.
Perfect,
So
perfect,
you
I'm
say
cool with
what
that.
did you say about the Lakers? My fault.
I said ceiling is second round, floor is missing the playoffs.
Well, wouldn't you say? Would you say like just being so ass that they're not in the play? Because being in the play-in, brother, you still have a chance to not make the playoffs.
No,
Are you talking
missing
about 11? Okay, all right, hey,
the
bet. No,
playoffs.
that's it. I'm not even finna. We're not having this conversation nowhere past that. Because I bet we bust San Antonio's ass. Anyways, Houston.
Missing the playoffs is their
Yeah,
same.
yeah. I think
That's their floor.
their ceiling is second round.
First round. I'll
Yeah.
say first round.
Actually, I think their ceiling is the first round of the
They
playoffs.
made 0 moves in the offseason that make me feel like they're gonna be competitive. The only saving grace for them to get out of the first round is Fred VanVleet. That's it.
Yeah, I mean maybe that does help them, but shoot, it's gonna
It
take him a while to get
stabilizes that
back. Yeah,
offense.
but it's
Yeah.
gonna take him a little bit to get back. They're either gonna
I
start
mean, he
hotter
missed
than fit.
all last
But
year,
that's what I'm saying.
you
They're
know?
either going to start hotter than fish grease and then cool off once the wear and tear of his body starts to catch up, or he's going to have so much just rust that it's going to take him a
Yeah.
while before he gets going. Either way, they're going to be they're climbing out of a hole, and I'm just really not
And
that impressed with Houston.
Sengun looks like a pretender, and he doesn't gel well with KD. I've just seen that more and more as the season went along, and especially in the playoffs. There's some kinda like, Sengun wants the ball down low in clutch time, but KD is KD, and they're
I'm
having issues working that out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a team that could trade for Fred Van Vliet because I think they need I think they need a point guard that is a little bit more pass first. Because Fred VanVleet, he
Yeah.
can, but he does look for his shot quite a bit. But
Mhm.
Minnesota,
Ceiling,
it's hard to because I
man,
I want to say that I feel like this could be a year for Ant, but I thought the same thing last year. And I want to say
yeah.
Western Conference Finals is their ceiling, but then I'm not
Mhm.
really impressed with their moves. Like
No.
getting Lamelo, like I think that's gonna be nice. And hell, they may even be those. You remember those old Phoenix teams where they would
Mhm.
just crush people in the regular season and then get to the second round and piss down their legs. So maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll go second round and their
Well, they
floor
let
is playing.
Julius Randle walk, no?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, he's gone.
he gone.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
I don't know at this moment. I'd have to check, but he'll find somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll be on somebody's team. He'll be on like the Pelicans.
Yeah. I mean, LaMelo and Ant, I
They've
you
already
want
been
that to
kicking it
be
together, so
yeah, they're YNs that got issues, so that makes sense.
they're I think, bro. I truthfully don't you think they look like just one of those young teams that are going to come out and go balls to the wall all regular season and all trying
Mhm.
to crush everybody and talking crazy to all these teams. going crazy and really
Yeah,
believing and listening to everything,
I
and then they get
see
to the
that.
playoffs and get smacked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I see that until they face, like, a game with actual stakes. I think in the
Yeah.
regular season, they're just gonna be out there hooping,
Yes.
and they could do that. Them 2 together can do that in an important game where not it might not necessarily be win or go home, but it's, "Hey, this could shift the momentum away from you in a series."
Nah, it is.
I don't think they show up.
You right. You right. Uh, Portland. I think Portland's ceiling is
Second round.
yes. I think if every single thing for them goes right, second round would be the very best. I think for them, and then honestly, the floor to me is them not making the playoffs.
Yeah. With the moves that they've made, the the people that they still got on their roster, because I think Drew Holiday is still on that roster right now. So you got Drew, Ja, Dame, Scoot, all supposed to play point guard.
They just
I
hooping,
mean,
bro.
some's gonna go, "Where's your big man?" Denny's the only big
We
man you
don't need
got,
it when we
and
hooping.
the Time Lord.
We
Yeah, I
just running
mean,
and gunning out here, baby. AAU
yeah,
until we get to the
yeah.
playoffs. Ooh, this is an
All
interesting
right.
one. Phoenix.
Their ceiling is missing the playoffs entirely. I
That's
mean, their
their
floor
ceiling? I
is
was
miss
like,
my bad. Their floor is missing the playoffs entirely. Their ceiling is a playing team. Their ceiling is a playing team. That organization is just it's baffling to me. The amount of talent that they had, the amount of success that they had, and then what they're doing now, they just they're not
I
they're
think
not
they just got
built
well, I think they just got caught
well right
reaching.
now.
Well, I think they just got caught
Yeah.
reaching, bro. They went to the finals, they had that success, and then they were trying to do what like per se the Rams is doing in the NFL, whereas like we got the team that's good enough, we just got to make a splash move and get the guy we want to win. And that's what they were trying to do when they brought in Bradley Beal. That's what they were trying to do when they brought in KD, and it just didn't work. So I think they're trying to rebound off of it, but I do think that Phoenix has a ceiling of maybe let's say the second round. I think if everything goes well, they can get to the second round. If they get a matchup, like say Minnesota gets a top 4 seed, right? And the Suns catch many, I think the Suns could upset them and get to the second round. Now, if it's
Yeah.
OKC, San Antonio, or even LA, I don't think I don't think that Phoenix can upset them. But if it's some of those lesser teams in the West, I think they can get got. Like if Houston pulls a 4 seed or a 5 seed again, like I think they can get got. Like that's you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
oh,
But
yeah. Most definitely, they can get got in the first round. I think with Phoenix too, it's we watched this last year in the playoffs. So it was basically every team in the first round, there was no surprises on who made it to the second round. There
facts.
was none.
Well, kind of. The only well, they considered it a shock, but it shouldn't have been. But we didn't know that because KD didn't play in the series. But everybody picked
Mhm.
Houston over LA
Yeah, and the
because no
reason that that
Luca
wasn't sur
or
yeah,
Austin
and
at first.
the reason that that wasn't as surprising to me is because Houston, like I said, Houston just didn't look like they had good chemistry with each other. So, like, the thing that LA has is like, well, if Austin and Luka are out, this is LeBron bringing the ball up, moving the ball, and setting people up, and that essentially can win you a playoff series you know if KD's out.
Facts.
Because on the Houston side, it was all right. Reed Shepard, bring the ball up. You're only going to get a wide open jumper. That's all you're worth. Ahmed Thompson has semi-serviceable skills on the offensive side of the ball, mostly a putback guy and a slashing type of dude. Shingun is gonna look mid in the post, and KD do everything else.
And at this age,
I mean,
he's
that's
not.
what it came down to. Yeah, and at this age, he's not. He's still one of the best scorers in the league, year in and year out. But
I'm not gonna lie to
Man,
you. I'm not even gonna
he
give him that no more.
37.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna give him that no more. I think he has games where he still shows flashes of it, but because bro, them knees when he be trying to hit them low crossovers with them long ass legs
Yeah,
and shit, them knees be
yeah,
popping. He be ooh
yeah. Yeah, between him and James Harden, he's still the better scorer.
yeah, but James fell off a cliff compared, which
Yeah,
everybody's seen that. But just keeping it pushing. The Clippers.
they have nothing. They
Yeah, I
have
was gonna
nothing.
say we're
That
I
like
see
their
playing.
ceiling is a play-in.
Hmm.
Their floor is being in the
Number
draft
one
lottery.
pick.
That's their
Number
yeah,
one pick,
that's their
and
floor.
I don't even know if they own it. And somebody in the chat or somebody on the comment section, please tell us because good God, but Golden State, I honestly I think the exact same. I think they just kind of, especially them giving Draymond as much as they just gave him. Yeah, that just tells me
Yeah.
like, hey, y'all are like y'all are running it back, and y'all were bad last year. So I think
Mhm,
their ceiling is a play-in team, and their floor is his number one pick,
mhm.
New Orleans. You want
I
me to
mean,
keep
their
it a bean?
ceiling is a playing team.
I'm not giving them that. Their ceiling is the
Okay.
same thing as their floor, which is nothing. That's it. It's just a pancake. That's it.
Okay,
Dallas.
yeah. I mean, honestly, their ceiling
Yeah.
to me could be a playing team. I mean, they're getting healthier. They did do bad in the draft. Cooper Flag is starting to show more. I wouldn't say that he was inconsistent. He's showing that, hey, I can compete at a high level night in and night out with these dudes. As a rookie,
These ends.
you have moments where you kind of you get locked up by a dude, but
You hurt me,
towards the
boy.
end of the season, there was a lot of
You think you
there was a
think you
lot of
think you Cooper or any cold white dude ever does that?
yeah,
Yank a dude back. Come here, boy.
gotcha.
Reach and taste you. The knife beheaded.
You
That's
reach, I
crazy,
teach,
bro.
brother.
That's crazy work.
I
But then
wish
what do
I
you do?
wish he had
What do
a
you do though,
southern
too?
twang.
What do you do though? Right? Because then it's a Larry Bird story. Because I feel like
Yeah,
Larry was like, Magic, you in all day.
he definitely said it. There's been
Facts.
stories about him saying it,
Hey,
and
Larry was busting some ass, and you know what I'm saying? I
he
guess,
said, "You gonna let this white boy guard me?
yeah.
Are you sure
And
about that?
right.
You better get some brothers over here.
Larry
He
now
can't hold me."
and Larry, I don't know how, like from Indiana, Larry picked up the culture. That's how you know that it's bigger than a race thing and it's just a
Yeah,
culture. Because Larry picked that shit up in Indiana, fam. But
yeah.
I agree with you though on Dallas. I don't know how we got to Larry Bird, but
Cold
Dallas,
white boys.
right?
I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that's
that's
the
right. My fault.
easiest
My
way to
fault. My fault. Yeah,
easiest way to put it.
I agree. I truthfully, I'm a little bit higher. I have them as their
Hmm.
ceiling being the second round of the playoff. I think they're another
Okay.
bad matchup for a team. I think they could catch some teams slipping if I'm being real. But Memphis,
They have absolutely nothing. Ceiling is the same as the floor.
I appreciate it because you're right. You're right. Sack Town.
Same.
Yeah, they should be called
Same.
Sat Town and sit down because it's over with
And
already,
sit your ass
and the
down,
season ain't even started.
cause
Just
we
watch.
ain't going
That's
nowhere.
crazy work. That's
We ain't
crazy work. That's a
going nowhere.
that's a double entendre because he Diddy Harlem shaking. Are y'all? Anyways, you
I'm liking the idea that they win 40 games. That doesn't necessarily make them a playing team.
40. I'll
I'll give
give
them
them.
35 to 40.
I will give them right now on a rainy day. It's not really rainy. A hot day. I give them 37 wins next year, and that it will be on
Okay.
the fringe of them making the play in or not.
Mhm.
But
And their ceiling, I mean, their floor is
where they are
what we've
right
been
now,
used to in Utah for the past couple years.
yeah,
So
facts. It's been. I mean, yeah, it's weird. They're the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NBA, bro.
they have peaks and
Just
valleys.
and them
They
valleys, bro. Good lord, y'all be
they
wasting people's.
real
Y'all
low.
be wasting
They
people's
real
career,
low.
wasting people's career.
Yeah.
But all right, brother, let's pivot over to the UFC buy or sell. Have a couple of quick little tiddly bits where we go through and we talk about which ones you buying, which ones you selling. Sorry, I'm looking down so I can pull it up too. I did have some notes, but not
Mhm.
on these. Anyways, buy or sell. The UFC needs another superstar.
Kinda selling that because I think we're in the era where they kinda have that. I believe that they have that.
I'm going to.
Patty
I'll go.
the
No, go.
Batty is
You right?
is that at the moment.
Yeah, but he's not a champ just yet, right?
He's not a champ. He's
Just
not a
yet.
champ. Yeah.
So it could, you know what I'm saying? I think he has to. If he does not get a championship, that shit'll fade fast. So he
Yeah.
does, but I will buy it because I think the UFC could always use another superstar. At every like even in Connor's run, I thought they could have used another superstar because it was just sprints. The Connor pay-per-views and the Connor fights were everywhere. And outside of that,
Mhm.
you didn't know anybody. Unless you were just like
I got
a legit diehard that watched everything. Like you
yeah.
didn't know who
I
these
got
guys were. So I thought they needed more then. Yes, John was still there. Yes, it was still, but it was
mhm.
just they could have had The Rock and Stone Cold basically at the same time. So
So, in these past, let's say, for argument's sake, these last 5 years, so since 2021, what has the UFC been doing per se to feel like we're discussing this to where they haven't really had a superstar, right? They've had champs, they've had guys be dominant, hold up weight like right now, Poatan is a superstar that nobody knows what he's saying because he doesn't speak
I think
English.
their last true superstar was Izzy. I think Izzy's rise was the actual last true superstar. I think we got a homeboy who his definition of being a superstar is a little bit different than everybody else, and everybody likes to call
Mhm,
every great player or player that can score 20 or 30 in the NBA a superstar. But his definition of superstar is that plus random people or casuals know who you are because your name is that
mhm.
big, right? Uh, Izzy was that. Izzy was so big that that a lot of people that didn't even watch the UFC knew who he was. So I don't know if Patty is that yet. I don't think Ilya is that. Maybe Ilya was getting close. Now he's definitely not that. I don't think they have any
Volk?
more of that. You say who, Volk?
Yeah.
I don't even like I know people like MMA fans obviously know Volk, but if we're walking in the mall or something and we go like, "Hey, Alexander Volkanovski," we go in a store and say, "Hey, do you have a shirt with Alexander Volkanovski?" They'll look at us and be like, who are y'all talking about?"
What is it?
Yeah, be like, is this a math teacher?" So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's a in the definition of superstar is you get attention from people who aren't really, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a
Mhm,
superstar in professional wrestling, everybody knows you, right? Like the Undertaker, there's people that didn't even watch wrestling that know who the Undertaker was because he's a
mhm.
superstar. So, but yeah,
Ric Flair. If you
yeah,
say "Woo," everybody knows that that's Ric Flair. You know what I mean? I will say, yeah, Izzy is probably on my terms the same as how you put it. I think Alex Pereira he's that, but it's kind of the waters are kind of muddy because outside of his performances in the octagon, he's a pretty mellowed out guy. Like he doesn't add that extra star power to him other than the lure of like he's a man of not many words, right? He doesn't really say a whole lot. His interviews are never I'll be read the subtitles. He's not saying anything that's really like eye catching. He doesn't like Izzy's entrances, his performances, the things that he said on the mic, top to bottom, superstar. Since he's fell off, I feel like Patty is the closest thing that's gonna give us that balance of both. But you're right, Patty does not have the strap. Outside of that, man, I think Sean had an opportunity to, but Sean's performances don't match
well,
his his
I
skills on
no,
post fight
it
and
does, but
stuff like that.
there's a you look at it and you say there's a superstar from an aspect of like the old school GSP and Anderson Silva style. where
Mhm.
they don't have to talk. They're well respected.
They're
However,
just dominant.
right. However, those were superstars for people that were diehard MMA fans, people that love the UFC. So those are the guys that like Joe Rogan will always mention because he's a diehard. Like he loves everything about it and he knows everything about it, right? Then you have the guys that are loud, that get their, you know what I'm saying? That's how they get their name off, like Tito Ortiz and some guys like that. Maybe they're not the best fighters. Maybe they weren't necessarily the greatest, but they'll go down just because they have their mouth. Then pause. But then you also have you also have the guys that have both, and they talk the
Mhm.
talk and they walk the walk, and those are the Conor McGregors. They've been continuing to try to find that, and they've been trying to use that recipe. And Sean turned into, they wanted to put him as the Connor and like get him to defend the belt to say, like, look, he's walks the walk. Then he fought Marab twice and got dominated both times. So now it was real easy to be like, okay, like you know what I'm saying? You handpicked Cheeto. We knew you were going to beat him. Like this was
Mhm.
you're not solidifying yourself. So I think that there's a right way to do it to make yourself a superstar. I think if you duck fights
Yeah.
and do things like that, it doesn't. But
Right now, Josh Hogan is just trying to sell himself as best as
yeah,
he
he's
can.
doing the Colby Covington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing that, and I don't necessarily I think the purists of the sport hate him. I think the
Nope, they
average
love him.
fan loves him.
Nope, purists love him. The purists love him just because they know what he is. They know why he's doing it. They know it's all just a shtick because they know that he's not gonna, like, he has to do it to brand himself so he looks more
Yeah,
attractive to make more money.
I eh, I definitely think the average fan is like, "This guy's crazy. We love him."
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy. A lot of people hate it that he acts that way, but I mean, the truth of the matter is because of how we monetize stuff now, you have to. You have to. And really it's
Mhm,
all you always had to. Like Ali was doing it. Tyson was doing it. Like
mhm,
they've always done it. So it
mhm.
is what it is. But back to buy or sell, Isaiah, John Jones' legacy is untouchable. Buy or sell.
Yep, I'm gonna buy that. Even in the midst of all that cocaine, all those car accidents, all those allegations, John Jones, like, I'm starting to sound like Dana White. John Jones is the greatest fighter in UFC history. It's so untouchable too because now it's only been one fight, so, I'm not trying to make a bunch of hot takes or speak out of pocket on this, but you can see his style translating into the people that he coaches, and they're being successful. I know Gable Stevenson's only had one fight, but damn if he didn't look like a carbon copy of how John Jones fights.
And just because you
I
said
know
that
Ga
he's getting knocked out.
I think my point in that being is it's like he literally was in a position
Yeah.
where he
Pause.
did not have to fight anymore because of how dominant he was against Stipe. And he got Cyril Gane out of there in, like, a minute and a half. So, those are the top guys in the division at the time, I will say at the time. I don't think he needed to fight Aspinall. I don't think it was worth his time to do it. And then when Aspinall fought Cyril Gane, yeah, there was an eye poke, but now Aspinall has been just out the game for a
Nah,
year,
he coming
over a
back.
year
He
now.
coming back. We know, we get it. You hate Tom Aspinall. I agree, though.
Untouchable legacy, John
It is
Jones.
definitely a buy. The only way you touch it, pause, is if you want to make it better, pause again. But that's just what it is. Because if you could give him his undefeated record. Because let's be real, at least move it to a no contest.
Yeah,
And because he didn't even get warning, and I get why, because he was fucking him up. But
yeah.
buy or sell, last one. The lightweight division is the deepest in the MMA, or deepest in MMA.
I'm buying that. I mean, I feel like it started to kinda turn that way around the time that Connor was coming up. I mean, it's you started to see so much more skill in that weight class, and it's just been consistently getting better, and now it's so stacked that week in and week out, ranked dudes are fighting ranked dudes, number 1 contender spots, all that stuff. I mean, it's happening week in and week out in that division, so I I think so. I'm gonna buy that.
I will sell it and only sell it because I think the bantamweight division is. I know if you look at the rankings and you see who's all listed, it's crazy because like Gaethje, Banger, Ilya, Armin, Charles, Max, Patty. After that, it kind of drops off. Max got beat up by the featherweight champion 3 times. Charles,
You said lightweight division.
yeah.
I'm sorry. My bad. I just went on a tangent by the wrong division.
Which
I
division were you
apologize,
thinking?
everybody. I think I was thinking featherweight.
I don't know if you're thinking feather. I'm thinking bantamweight.
Yeah, bantamweight. Yeah,
Fjordian,
bantamweight.
Marab,
Right.
Umar, Sean O'Malley, Batista, Sandhagen, Song Yadong. I think they're very top heavy, though. I mean, Bryce Mitchell is still in it. I think they're very top heavy, but it's the same thing with the lightweights. But also, a lot of the lightweights are like Max Holloway is in the lightweight, and like you have won one fight at lightweight, so you know what I mean. Like, let's chill out, fam. Let's chill out. I think Max has a 1-2 record at lightweight, so I think we need to chill out.
That's 145, right?
155, 45 is featherweight.
155.
Yeah, yeah. But to finish off, because usually we finish off the podcast and we hey, what do you want to leave the listeners with? What do you want to talk to the listeners with? First off, we'll start at the beginning of the pod. Once we add tick to the talk to it, we will start
The
off.
TikTok,
We'll
you
we'll
don't
start
stop.
we'll start adding in and plugging everything where you can catch the episode. But for the most part, the whole conversation is talking to the listener. So if you can't enjoy that and get off on hearing our appreciation for y'all listening through that, that's your own fault. But what we're going to start doing is we're going to give our hottest take or start making guarantees at the end of the podcast, and we just going to stand on it, pause, and or we can use this time to call out a take from earlier. Now, with that said, my hot take of the week. You know what? It's not even gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna make a guarantee. A guarantee. The Pittsburgh Steelers are beating the dog shit out of the New England Patriots. We come into Foxborough, guns blazing,
Ooh,
and we
what?
putting them puppy dogs in place.
What?
We making them drink out of a water bowl.
What?
We putting them on a leash and walking them around town.
What?
We taking them to the vet to make sure they updated with their shots.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. Bob
Exactly.
Barker.
That's what's happening. That is my guarantee. The Pittsburgh Steelers
Guaranteed.
are beating the New England Patriots. Book it down in ink.
And the internet is written in ink. So that guarantee ain't never going away. We got to time step this bug. Okay, put it in a capsule. I mean, we will react to it whether or not it goes Pittsburgh Steelers' way.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
I
I'm
get
a toxic, biased Steelers fan. Maybe because you know what I'm saying. It's hope season and everything looks great. And maybe
yeah.
in about 2.5 months from now, maybe 3 months, I may be a little bit more humble. A little, but for right
Okay.
now, we might beat them boys by 20. We might
I
beat
got
them
2
boys
for
by
you.
20. Matter of
Hot
fact,
take.
Drake May is gonna throw 3 interceptions because that boy trash. Drake May is Mitch
Ooh,
Trubisky.
see,
Mitchell Trubisky.
hey, I'm out of this.
I
like
heard
Drake May.
Travion Henderson has been struggling to protect the passer, right? You not finna
Okay.
keep Drake May upright if you can't protect the passer. Because we got 4
That's
dogs,
true.
four Los Angeles Lakers starters in Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, and Jack Sawyer. They got the
I know
skin
you meant
tone.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
No,
You
brother,
said
the
Los
skin
Angeles
tone, they
Lakers.
would be starters for the Lakers. Yeah,
My
you see
God.
what I'm talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Way to wrap that all the way around to get to that point. Full circle moment. I got 2 for you. 2 of them. 2. First one, I'm gonna go hot take route. My hot take is that the Dallas Cowboys are in the divisional round of the playoffs this year. That's my hot take. My guarantee is that Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after this NFL season.
That's weak. That's weak as fuck, bro. Everybody watched him on
That's
McAfee. My God, bro. You're not wrong. And I'll say this. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't think you're the greatest quarterback of all time. Maybe you are the greatest thrower of the football the NFL has ever seen. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. However, I do think that this will be a great year for Aaron Rodgers, regardless of what happens for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a way for him to go in and go out the way that he started. Who was the coach whenever you took over and a franchise trusted in you? It's Mike McCarthy. And who's there for you when you're leaving the league that you love? Mike McCarthy. I think that's a story that should be written in stone for Aaron Rodgers, and I hope he's cherishing every moment. Now, with that said, as a Steelers fan, I want dubs. And even though I cherish that connection and that story, if y'all don't get dubs, I'm going to be on here every week crashing out. Every Sunday, crashing out. So I'll leave it.
That works for me. I do have a possible pod topic that we could discuss on Sunday. I'll get with you afterwards to talk about it, but it just came to my mind. But I know it's getting a little later. It's about 9:30 at night. We gotta go to bed 'cause we gotta go to work.
Yeah, y'all who thinking 9:30, when you start getting older and you stop hate, yeah, I don't like too many people as it is. So 9:30, I go to sleep before y'all minions come out. Y'all watch Sinners? I'm trying to
Here's
go
the
to
biggest
sleep
thing
before
too.
the devil come out.
Yeah, ain't nothing going on that's good past that time. And if you got a mortgage, you're going to bed by 10 regardless, okay?
At least
I'll
being
leave
in,
people with
at
that.
least being, like I said, he says sleep, brother. I'm about to go and probably watch Netflix while I scroll at the same time. And if you're not doing it, you
Oh,
living your life. And with that, we will see y'all on Sunday when Cam comes back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Red River Rundown. We out.